Yeah, I'm back with you, cuz. What's up, man?
Man, long time no see, man. How you feeling?
Man, look, see the gray hair, dog.
Man, dog, been putting in some work. Obama work around this mother.
Yeah, that it ain't number wisdom. That's it. I just made what 36 last week before last.
Yeah, that's a powerful number, man.
Hey, you guessed it.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
guessed
sir.
it, man.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad you out here doing your thing, bro. And pretty much that's what this whole interview is been inspired by, man. Just the work you've been doing, bro. It's even though I ain't been able to talk to you all the time, it
Oh
it,
yeah,
it is really inspiring, bro. You take your time out to give yourself to others, bro. And
correct. Correct.
that's what it is, man.
Well, so I appreciate the love as always, man. I sure appreciate it, man. You know, do my best, man. It's just was a calling on my life to do. So just gotta just walk into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. A lot of people run away from that call, man. And look, and be talking about it, doing all the complaining and whatnot, man. You actually out here, man, being active in the trenches, dude, and actually seeing some success behind it, dude. So, hey,
Man, and you know, everybody calling is different, man. But dealing with me, you mentioned success. That just really not, what I'm after. Even though it comes along with, walking into my purpose and stuff, but just saying I'm gonna do this or do that or be an author and do all that just to have a successful title behind my name, that's not what I'm in it for. But I'm grateful for it, as well. But that's not my one of my main focus is just being successful. It's just making sure, I answer and do everything that's expected of me, with my calling. So and whatever comes along with it, it is what it is. You got plenty of people who, answered their calling and, did what they were supposed to do, but then no success come behind it. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, the success came after they lost their life, so it's definitely one of those things, man. But I'm grateful for it.
yeah, I dig that.
At the end of the day, correct,
Um,
man.
man, what I gotta say is when I say success, it's not a financial measure. It's not a
Oh, correct, correct.
appreciation measure for what other people deem as
Mm-hmm.
success because like, you brought up Malcolm X and you bring up Martin Luther King. That the fact that that happened over that was over 50 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they are still part of today's conversation when you talk about people that actually uh
Mm-hmm.
were effective in leading a change and leading the way,
Correct,
not
correct,
only for themselves but for the community and people that they call their brethren and sisters.
correct.
So what you doing? I deem what you're doing as success, man. You already succeeding because you could have been doing so much other destructive things with your life and
Exactly.
with your
Correct,
power, man. And you chose to go to work on yourself and
correct, correct.
man, just be a pillar in your community, man. You got your book called The Zookeeper. It's not a
Yeah,
it's not a
yeah.
it's an autobiography. The thing about it is an autobiography, and yet
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about the work that you're doing that affects others.
Mm-hmm. Correct,
So
correct.
I see it as a success, even if it won't be recognized by other people. It's ahead of its time because man,
Well, I mean,
you
it
making a
it
great
is
impact, man, a great impact.
correct, and I appreciate that, and of course, I don't want to take away from it. It is success and a motivational story, but I guess by me being the one that's doing it, I feel like I haven't done enough yet. It's
Rightfully
just
so.
really like the beginning. But yeah, it's still more to come, man. It's still a lot more to come. It's just not really starting to be honest. So
Yeah,
that's
right.
the mission I'm on, man.
All right, so we're gonna get into it. Let me bust this intro real quick, man. All right, man. Welcome, world. Y'all are in tune again with the Fear Chaser podcast, where we help you scope out the most beautiful version of your life and yourself by chipping away that ugly thing called fear. And,
Yes.
and today I got my cousin on here, and it's more than him being my cousin. This man is actually an author. He's an alderman. He is a fear chaser in my eyes, and hopefully by the end of this interview, you will see why I see that and say that, because he's been through some tribulations. He's not let that get the best of him. He's been pushing past that, and he continues to push past that. He's a father, he's a husband, and he's a son, man, and a grandson. Like, y'all stay tuned. Y'all gonna see that Macklyn Austin is a fear chaser and someone that you should tap in with.
I appreciate it, but not a husband yet.
Common-law married, man.
Not yet, but
right on.
Married to the love of the community. How about that?
Yeah, right on. Did that.
Correct, man.
Man, yes. So yeah, man, I got you on your day off, man.
Well, I mean, it's a day off as far as my so-called 9 to 5, but outside of that, you know, being a politician, that's a 24-hour job, man. So,
right,
but it's still a day off from labor, I guess, work labor.
Right. I dig that.
Yes.
So man, I'm gonna start off slow, man. Let's get it going.
Okay.
Since we talking about you being a politician, man, why did you choose to be an alderman? Why did you choose to take on that challenge?
Man, I guess to get a full understanding, you know, I'll start with the beginning. I would like to say maybe 2012. Yeah, 2012, 2013. I was just, you know, chasing jobs, dead end jobs, just trying to make a living, man, trying to take care of my daughter. And, you know, I had graduated from UTI, school out of UTI, out of Houston, called UTI. You're familiar with it, in the Decaney area. 2005, I graduated from high school here in Yazoo City. And the year of 2005, Father's Day Sunday of 2005, a month after I had graduated high school, there was an incident that happened in my family dealing with my mother. And before I go into many details, I'm gonna just give the I guess the edited version, because the true version I would like for everybody to see it and read it in my book. But just to get a gist of, you know, how I got to where I'm at now, being an alderman. Some things transpired in my home with my mother and my stepfather that allowed for me to end up moving to Houston, Texas, and going to college. So after I went to college for 2 years there in Houston, Texas, I came back to Mississippi. And during that time, it was like the beginning of the recession era. So the job that I had, I was working at an automotive plant called Nissan. I was there for maybe a year or two until I got laid off. So, and I remember it was 2009. So from 2009 to 2012, I was just chasing dead end jobs, maybe working, you know, 5-6 months here, 3-4 months there, until I finally found the job that was in my profession to what I went to school for all the certified things I earned going to college. And what I went to college for was collision repair, automotive technology. And with that degree, I ended up getting certified to be a welder. So I got this job that travels abroad, nationwide, worldwide, being a welder, building chemical plants, power plants, coal plants, natural gas plants. So I did this from 2012 all the way to 2020. And when I first got this job, it was the best job I ever had. And I remember when I first got my income tax for the first year that I had this job, when I got my W-2, I took it into H&R Block. And remember, at the time, I'm still young, just, wild, haven't, found my purpose in life. And an incident happened inside of H&R Block. Um, this white elderly lady, she just was, profiling me, looking at me like, and looking down at my ID, looking at my W-2. She was like, where do you work and what do you do to make this type of money?
Mm.
And I'm looking like, what type of money? You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, like, what do you mean? You made $130,000+. And this was back in 2012 now. And I'm in my early 20s, mid 20s, making this kind of money. And at the time, I didn't grasp to how much money I had made, because
You were just putting in the
as
work.
soon as I was getting it, I'm just blowing it on unnecessary stuff, jewelry, clothes, shoes, just unnecessary stuff. So I really wasn't, I was still living paycheck to paycheck because I was blowing the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't aware of, like, man, this really a lot of money. And for me to be from Yazoo City, the average household income a year is, the mid is anywhere from 30 to 40,000. So me, black, young, living with my grandmother, no bills, no responsibility other than my daughter, I'm making $100,000+ a year and not realizing, the type of, successful things I can do with this money. So the next year, came along, and that's when, God started whispering and showing me different things in my life. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to come aware of, the how I came up, not necessarily in poverty, but I missed out on a lot of things that I wish I had, from seeing my peers who was well off than I, do and have. But in the community, I was seeing how certain, things in my community was being affected by politics. But still, at the time, being a politician didn't come to my mind. So it was just one incident that happened in somewhere in Tennessee. It was a family whose house had burnt down. They lost a lot of things, and I think they had maybe 5 or 6 small children in the house, who had lost all their school clothes, their uniforms, just everything. And I'm like, okay, it really dawned on me to where, this family finna get ready to go to school, have to send their kids back to school, and they're not going to have anything. And they was already poor from reading and getting information about the story. And I just automatically thought about, like, man, these kids finna go to school, stressed out, not having the things they need, not having the things they want. So long story short, I reached out to them. Um, end up, blessing them with a nice donation, to help get uniforms and clothes and things like that for school. And when I did that, it was like a sigh of relief just, landed on my heart, man, on my soul, to where, I was able to bless someone, and it felt so good. I was proud of that. And I felt like, that was God working through me to help them. And, I got all this money from, working. And I was like, rather than me buying hundreds and hundreds of pairs of shoes and clothes, it's people out here who really need these type of things that, I'm taking for granted. So a few years passed on. I got in touch with a cousin through marriage of mine named Jonathan. And, he had a good job. He's pretty well off. I said, man, let's do something for our community. Let's do something good. And he was like, what do you want to do? So growing up, we'll see rappers and entertainers always doing turkey drives and things like that. I said, man, let's just get the community center and just pass out some turkeys and stuff like that. So when I realized how much, I think we got maybe 200 or 300 turkeys, and I was like, man, that was cheaper than I thought it was. I said, man, you know what? Let's just rent out the whole entire community center. Let's get somebody to cater the food, and let's feed the entire Yazoo City, feed the entire community. And not only that, I said, man, let's buy some TVs, get in touch with some barbers so the kids can get their haircuts, uh, all type of stuff, man. And when we did that, a light bulb had just really clicked on and turned on in my mind, man, in my head. I was like, you know what? This is what our communities need. People who would encourage and uplift, other well-off people in the community to help out, the poor and the needy and stuff like that. And not to where you're basically taking care of somebody, but pretty much just letting people know, like, look, I've been in your position before. I know how it feels to, wake up on Christmas and not have to, have something to open, or be at a Thanksgiving and not have to, you know, have to worry about not eating a hot food, hot meal. So we did that for maybe 3 or 4 years until the opportunity for me to run for alderman had came up. So I was just really just thinking, like, okay, I'm on this road 9 months out of the year. And if I really want to be an impact to my community, I would have to quit my job and come back home to work and be an alderman. And, at this time I hadn't bought my car. I mean, bought my truck and car, bought a house. So the things that the major foundational things that I need in life, I already have. So it wasn't going to be no problem. So I ended up getting blessed and getting a job out here at the chemical plant here in my town. And even though I'm not making as much money as I was on the road, but it's close there. And by me being home, and being maybe 5 minutes from the front door of the job, it leveled out. So 2 years, well, last year, I campaigned, and I let God, lead and guide me to do and say the right things. And man, the community came out and they voted me in to be the alderman of Yazoo City, man. And right now I'm in 8 months in, not quite a year. And the board, the other three aldermen, and the mayor, they elected me to be the mayor pro tem of Yazoo City as well. So it's a blessing, man, and that got me here to where I'm at now, man. But to get the full details and to dig all the way in, grab that book, man.
Yeah, get on Amazon.
Yeah, it hey, or just reach out to me on, Facebook, Macklyn Austin, Instagram, Macklyn_Austin.
Right.
Hey, I can mail and autograph some books and send them out to you, man. So you won't have to worry about the wait time on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm gonna put all those links and your information in the
Appreciate it.
in the
Appreciate it,
description.
man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
So man, we got like 6 minutes right here. I got a few more questions, but
Okay.
man, let's see what we squeeze out right here. Then I'm gonna just start a new one after this close
Okay.
out. All right, so man, look, that's impactful, man. It seems like you started to and that's what I'm seeing on my journey, man. The more that you give and teach to people, those are some of the biggest joys that you can really embrace. Enacting when it's talking about loving, people can say they love you, but when I'm actually enlightening you and giving you a helping hand, or just not necessarily helping you, but
correct.
people do need assistance in this world. You're not here.
Correct.
It's not millions and billions of people around just so you can do everything by yourself.
Correct. And a lot of times, man, because I fell victim to it too, man, and I speak about it in my book to, having pride. And it was times when I was in college, with that pride to where even your father, my uncles, they're pretty financially stable, but it would be times that I would go without, knowing that if I asked, like, look, Unc, I need this for lunch, or I need, pocket change, that they wouldn't hesitate to give it to me. But me having pride and trying not to be a burden on someone, it got me into some stressful, situations, man. one incident in particular, I was in college and I don't eat no condiments at all. But a friend of mine was at a taco truck and I was just dead hungry, man. And I'll never forget, he had ordered a barbecue pork sandwich, pulled pork sandwich. And the lady had put mustard all over it by mistake. And he bit off of it and opened it up and threw it in the trash. And even I was disgusted by it, but I was so hungry, man. So I end up asking my instructor when the bell rung, can I go to the restroom? And man, sadly, I went to the restroom, went back to that trash can, and I was so hungry, and I ate that, man. I ate what he had threw in the trash can, all because of you know just being pride, man. Not asking for help when I knew help was out there. Um, it was a sad situation, man, but I definitely took that and built up on my character and my strength and my morals and stuff like that, man. To like, look, hey, I don't care how well off I am or what I got or what I don't got. Man, a closed mouth don't get fed, man. And it's people who love you, it's people who care about you, who's just a call away, man, just a text message away, man. And you just never know what blessing that, God got for you if you just open your mouth, man, sometimes.
Yes, sir, man.
Yep.
That's one of my questions I have here. Like, what kind of process of changing your mind? What was the process like for you to change your mind to be able to embark on this journey in a way that you have when the trajectory is just it went from eating out of a trash can to you and took off, man, in a sense of you've put the pride to the side and realized that it's bigger than you, and at the same time you've constantly put yourself in a position where you can do for self and do for others.
Man, it was definitely what you spoke on in your intro, man. One of the most heavyweight things that's on anybody's life, man, that can hold us back is fear, like you said, man. The fear of what this person may think, the fear of, what if I lose this friendship, or just fear, the tons of things that comes along that line of fear and the what ifs. Um, Once I got over that to say, well, you know what? If I get told yes, if I get told no, if I get led, right or wrong, I got over fear and I reached out and, took a leap of faith. So that got me here, man. And when our cousin Walter died, at the time I had lost another close friend, ended up finding his body in the pool, swimming pool, dead. I said, man, we losing so many people, not in our city, but worldwide. And people don't even get a chance to live their life. And when I thought about that, I said, you know what? Every single person on this earth is put on this earth for a purpose. And a lot of us live to get, in our hundreds, 90s, 80s, and would never, truly find our purpose or even ask God, like, look, what is it that I'm made for? What is it that I'm put on this earth for? What is it that, you know, I'm in this position for? So I asked God that, man, like, look, what is it? I know I'm not just put here just to, be walking around on this earth for nothing, because you wouldn't have put all that energy into making me to be unuseful. And man, look, when I was sincere about that, got down on my knees, prayed and, fast, that's when all these things started lining up to where my purpose was to be a pillar in my community, to be a helper when I can, to be, motivational to guys, like yourself, guys like who was in my position and even doing, worse. And even people who's, a little bit more successful than me in life. My stories has motivated them and inspired them.
Just wait on it.
All right, we here.
All right.
Well, yeah, man, that's pretty much where I'm at with it is you put away that fear, man, and you actually tap into what your purpose is. You
Correct.
life open up a different type of way for you, man. That's what I mean when I say when we were speaking on success earlier. That's what I mean with
Mhm.
you are successfully carrying out your purpose. Everybody's purpose is not to be a billionaire. Everybody's purpose is not to be a superstar. And yet,
Correct. Correct.
and yet my grandma, your grandma, a lot of people in our family
Mhm.
have been pivotal in the way we do things, man. So people
Correct.
can you can look in your community, you can look in your family and find
Correct.
inspiration. You can find people that are really thriving and
Correct.
leading by example. So and those people are and what I from my journey, from my research is just seeing those people are taking a chance on doing something that is bigger than them and not really letting the world, the earthly
Mhm.
matters, be a deterrent or a dictator on how they should carry out their lives, man.
Correct. Correct. Correct, man. Yeah, it's that's definitely the things, It's one other thing, other than, the fear and the pride and stuff like that, man. You know, a lot of us are put in situations, man, that I want to say it touches our minds to where, you would go through some things in life or see somebody go through some things in life, and you will start to question your sanity, start questioning Christianity, start just questioning, everything around you, man. And a lot of people get so trapped up into where, they feel like, okay, well, this person right here, he did that, he got this going on, he did that, like, it I can't do it, you know what I'm saying? He got the road laid out for him, and his family may help him do this, they feel like it can't be them, man. But some of the most successful people on this earth right now, man, have came from situations that was 10 times worse than all of us. But they didn't allow these things we keep talking about, the fear, the pride, you know, to stand in their way, man. Um, and once you get those things aside, man, the sky's the limit. But it's all about finding, okay, what is my purpose? Don't look to be rich. Don't look for a get rich quick scheme or, whatever. Whatever it is that you have passion for, true love for, that's going to be the thing that make your life happy and make your life set, man. It's plenty of millionaires and billionaires right now who commit suicide almost every day. And they not wanting the need for anything, especially, nothing financial.
Yeah, physically.
So it's really not about that, man. Um, Happiness can't be bought, regardless of, what a person may think. Um, it's all about what's really, that's connected to your soul that truly make you happy, man. At the end of the day, you got people who's locked up in prison right now who would never get out, and they're 10 times more happier than me and you right now. You know, and they cool with that. They made peace with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it is what it is. And speaking on the prison system, the people that's in prison, I mean, sometimes it can be a good thing and a bad thing. And from the good side of it, your auntie, which is my mom, she ended up going to prison. But who was to say that if my mom didn't go to prison and I didn't have to move to Houston, I would be where I'm at right now.
Mm.
You know, I would still been in Yazoo City because it got caught up in drugs, gangs, whatever, and I wouldn't be here. But guess what? It took for my mom to have to go to prison, for me to have to leave Yazoo City to start a journey and a path to lead me to where I'm at now. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people, that go around life saying, "Oh, I wish I would have knew this. I wish I would have did that." It's not nothing, and I mean nothing. The 36 years of my life that if I had a time machine, that I would go back and do different. Not not a single thing. I would still have my daughter at the age of 16. The family members that I love to death, I would still allow their death to happen because you never know, you know, what could happen if those things didn't play out the way they did. And where I'm at in life, it's not perfect, but I'm happy, I'm at peace, I'm blessed. And those things are priceless, man. And if it takes for me to have to go back in time to change anything bad that happened to me, I wouldn't do it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth taking a chance on it, man.
I
It's
dig
not.
that. Yeah, man. That's what you just said, man. The two things that poke out to me are the phrases, the God works in mysterious ways, and it gives you are the toughest battles are given to the toughest soldiers.
Exactly, exactly. And hey, I stand firm on that, man. You know, we all have our weaknesses, man, but you got all your senses, man. Hey, I don't. We all got a sad story, man. You know what I'm saying? We all got a sad story. Some people's story sadder than others, but what you gonna do about it? You see what I'm saying? You gonna sit and fold and cry and complain, or you gonna change the situation? And right now we living at a time in life to where it's more easy to be successful than ever before, man. People can sit at home right now and make an honest living on the computer, on their phone. You see what I'm saying? So it's no excuse to you know have doubt on your life and your path to being out of a situation that you're not comfortable with, unless you just bedridden, sickly, very ill, to where those things going to stop you from doing. But if it ain't that, look, man, it's a way out. Even if it's drugs, if it's women, if it's alcohol, man, those things can be turned around easily, man. But
Yep.
it's all about how bad you want to do it. Walking on this path that I'm on right now, it costs me so much, but I don't want it back. It cost me close friendships. It cost me close friends, even some family members. But guess what? I had to be willing to make a sacrifice to give up something that was hurting me or holding me back for God to bless me with something that's going to push me forward. And guess what? I don't lose no sleep over it, man. I don't. I was caught up in, a few illegal things, knowing that it was wrong. And me knowing it was wrong, I'm steady going on my knees, asking God to bless me. And he like, man, hold up, bro. You want to be blessed? You want this and that. But you knowingly knowing that you're out here doing wrong, it don't work like that, man. You got to be willing to sacrifice something, man. And the things that I've sacrificed to get me to where I'm at right now in life, man, it was well worth it, man. I don't miss it. I don't care about it. I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I don't care if every Bible, every Bible scripture on earth disappeared now. I do know for certain, for me, that the power of God is real, man. The power of prayer is real. You gotta have faith, man. If you ain't got faith, it ain't gonna work, man. What you willing to go through? You willing to you know sacrifice, hanging out, sacrifice friendships, sacrifice, not being able to eat the things you want to eat, to dress how you want to dress, to live how you want to live, to maintain and start small and work your way up. Because when you get there, you're going to say, man, look, it was worth it. I'll do it again if I have to. And that's how I feel now, man. If I had to go back and start over from day one, I would want everything to be exactly how it was to get me right here now, man. I definitely will. Definitely will, man.
Yeah, that's powerful right there. Um, since we still on this, I'm gonna keep it on this. I'm gonna say, man,
Okay.
you you're speaking about sacrifice, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm on right now is just doing away with a lot of things that I was dependent on in the past, as
Mm-hmm.
far as thinking. I used to
Mm-hmm.
be a heavy weed smoker. I really
Mm-hmm.
straight off of that. I just did a fast, and I'm rolling. I'm rolling with that momentum for just doing without to see what I'm able, what is actually available for me on this side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're somebody deep in that right now. And I gotta ask you, man, how does it feel to be in the trenches? Because a lot of
Let,
people,
let,
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna ask you this question,
Yeah,
and I don't have no problem. I don't do no drugs, alcohol, weed, none of that. But when you smoke, when a person smoke and get high, what does it do for you? Are
uh,
you able to think? Are you able to think clearly?
yeah.
Are you
See,
able to fully function and do the things that you need to do? You know, the smoking marijuana and drinking that affects all of that, right?
see, for drinking, man, I say drinking was one of the things I ain't even I looked down upon
Yeah.
or frowned upon when I was a kid, just growing up and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I seen it really alters people, and a lot of people will turn into someone that they're completely not. And,
Correct.
and
Correct.
weed smoking, it was a different story for me. A lot of people not family, a lot of like Ricky Williams. I said when I was a kid, when Ricky Williams retired to go smoke
Mm-hmm.
weed in Australia, I was like, man, I'm gonna do that too. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't necessarily a negative stigma that smoking weed had
Mm-hmm.
upon me. So the time I ain't started smoking weed till I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
So I went a while without it,
Mm-hmm.
and it came at a point in time where it wasn't. I say you can say it was more recreational, and yet
Mm-hmm.
looking back now, I can see that it there are positive effects. Like it does boost your mood, it does put you in a flow state, and being in the
Okay.
flow state is when you're more creative.
Well, rather than physical, back when you were smoking weed heavy, I'm gonna give you an instance. When you were smoking weed heavy and you was a big time football player, if an NFL scout reached out to you and said, Adonis, look, we got a spot on you to play for the Houston Texans. You can be the running back, whatever. We're gonna pay you these millions of dollars, but you got to pass the drug test. You see how that alter your life and your course? But guess what? If you was willing to sacrifice not smoking weed or whatever, you would have had that opportunity, right? That was
Yeah,
once a dream of yours, right?
yeah. We didn't deter me
No,
from
I'm just
football
saying.
dreams. I know what
I'm
you. I
saying that the chances, the you can't go nowhere really uh in America to get a corporate job or professional job without passing a drug test. So are you willing to sacrifice, and not just saying you, but people who's going to watch this, are you willing to sacrifice the love of smoking weed to go out and get a professional job that's going to put you in a better position to take care of yourself, to take care of your family?
say that's what I'm speaking on when it comes to sacrifice because
Mm-hmm.
I realized that even though there are positive benefits that I was getting uh from smoking weed,
Mm-hmm.
physical and spiritual as well as mental,
Mm-hmm.
it was putting me in a great place. The
Mm-hmm.
the the problem with it that you can get comfortable with that. You can
Mm-hmm.
rely on it so much and kind
Mm-hmm.
of discard the rest of your life, the rest of the necessities and callings that life entails.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, in that situation, man, I'm doing my best to not have to be in a position where I have to rely on someone else's standards to
Mm-hmm.
have a job, and yet
Mm-hmm.
I would say that there's a problem for a person that can't put that to the side
Mm-hmm.
for something that is going to actually improve their lives. And
Mm-hmm.
I was in denial. I'm just thinking to myself the other day, I'm like, man, like I'm kind of upset that people that thought I smoked too much or whatever like that are going to be right when they see that now I'm on this journey and I haven't been smoking and whatnot, and a lot of successes come from it. And yeah, it's like, man, like, hey, fair exchange ain't no robbery, man. Because look,
correct.
Look, I'd rather not depend on anything too much in here on some on what Robert Niro said in Heat. If there's anything that you can't if you can't let walk away from it in 10 seconds or less, let it go. Because hey man, those people, you are your own enemy. And yet if someone was trying to plot on you and scheme on you and trying to find a weak point on you, you shouldn't make it easy for them.
Correct. Well, I'm the you know, our Austin and Gainwell, our background, you know, we come from a strong family with not too many weaknesses. And I can proudly say, you know, and like I said, we're only human, but the only weakness that I feel that's in my life, and it's not a weakness because it's my greatest strength as well, is my children, man, my two daughters. But other than that, man, look, whatever my next level in life to be on this path, if it requires me doing anything that's holding me back, regardless of if it's a person, a family member, or how much I love, I'm going to have to sacrifice and let that go, man. Because once you follow your calling, it ain't no turning back from it, man. And that can be that can be hurtful for a lot of people, because you got a lot of people who gets in their calling and started and they lose all these relationships and they give up. And guess what? They're giving up will lead to suicide, alcohol, you know, drugs, all that, man. And no, I don't wish that on nobody, man. That's not a road nobody wants to go, you know, to travel down, man. So I commend you, man. You know, I love you to death. You know that the path that you on now, you know, that's you. You know, that's solely yours, nobody else. And can't nobody tell you to go left or right, but it's solely upon you, man. And it's all about how bad you want it. You know, your podcast and your YouTube channel, man, you can be as successful as you want it to be. But if there's anything in your life, D, that you're doing or you think you may be doing, just sit back, man, and reflect and think about, okay, maybe this stopping me from doing that. Or I really like this, or I really love that. But if I do this, I can get to this next step I want to be. You know what I'm saying? And I encourage you to do that. The people who may see and listen to this video, you know, the same, man, because it works for me. It works for a lot of people that I know. And, you know, the sky's the limit, man. The sky's is the limit, man. Definitely.
I heard, man, and I appreciate that dearly, man. Really. So, man, oh, this is powerful, man. So I got two more questions, and the rest we can just fill them in.
Okay.
I'm gonna give them both to you and see how you go about that. One is how much did being a dad play a part in your journey to be a pillar in the community?
Strong question. Yeah. What's the next one?
And the other one is, man, like what we're doing right here used to be deemed as illegal, man. Two more black guys, so-called black guys, coming together and having a conversation like this because we can share information, we can share wisdom and whatnot. So overcoming that structure of thinking, that programming to being able to express yourself and write a book, man. Why do that?
All right. Well, the first question, man, when you first open up the second page of my book, it's a dedication to both of my daughters. My youngest daughter is 3 years old, but my first daughter, a miracle. I had her at the age of 16. I was a junior in high school. And when I tell you, every single day up to this very second that she was born. I had one goal. That one goal was, as long as I got breath, as long as I got my senses, my daughter would never, ever in her life had to go through and suffer for some of the things that I went through in life. All the jobs that I had, there was only one person in mind, making sure that girl have a smile on her face and have every single thing she needed. And a lot of people coming up used to say, "Oh, you ain't doing nothing but buying her love." Guess what? She's a child at this time. A child don't fully know what love is. A child know love about what you can do for them and give to them. So of course, I spent money and, did all these things for her. And maybe she was more in love with the material things, but once she got into her senses, she knew like, okay, dang, my daddy sacrificed this, my daddy did that, only for me to have this. And being a father, man, that's to these two girls, man, it's my life, man. It's so emotional for me to where I really can't even put in, the correct words, man. That both names starts with an A, and I call them my double A batteries, man. And they keep me going. They keep me going, D. They keep me going because I know what type of world awaits them. I know what type of life awaits them out there. And if they not prepared mentally, man, and physically, man, they can get ate up by this. God gave me the ability to be able to give them life. And it's my duty, it's my purpose, even to where I'm dead and gone, that I take care of them and make sure that they're straight. And I've invested in things, cattle, farming, all type of investments to where when I am dead and gone, that generational wealth for those two, man, will be there. Uh, and they won't have to worry about anything, man. And for your second question, speaking about being a black man, those two words alone are some of the most powerful words that a person can say, regardless of what race or whatever, being a black man. Because if you do enough research, enough history, it starts with a black man. And I take so much pride and joy to being a black man and that being in my DNA to where I feel like, my forefathers, the people who came before me, I owe it to them to be as successful as possible because you got to understand the history that they grew up in. Before it was slavery and all that stuff, man, we was kings. We ruled and we was the richest and had everything, and times changed to where, we went through slavery and those things. And just the history alone of slavery is 10 times, 100 times worse than what people may think the Holocaust was. The black people, the black man, the black woman, the Holocaust has nothing on the history and the torment that black people took in the years of slavery, man, those 400 plus years. And, I don't mean to curse, but I'd be damned if I'm going to let my heritage, man, and me being labeled as a black man put any type of shame or doubt on the struggles that those people had to go through to put me here. Being a black politician was never thought of back in the slavery days. We couldn't do it. We'll have our tongues ripped out our mouth to even mention you want to be, let alone being a black man wanting to vote. We couldn't have those things. We couldn't even speak of those things. And to be able to be in the position that I am now, to have an opportunity to do those things that they even dreamed of and wished of, things that they thought would never be true. Man, look, it's a blessing, man. And I don't take that for granted at all. I'm gonna run with it. I'm gonna reach up to whatever, the highest height of leadership in this community that God has for me, man. And at the end of the day, being a black man is going to be the title before alderman, before any elected official, before dad. You know, a black man and a man of God, those are the two titles that I'm going to hold high above anything. And I'm going to stand on that, man, to the day I'm gone, man.
Righteous, man. So you say this book is something that's is I would say it's metaphorically you throwing your hat in the ring of you having something to say as a so-called black man and uh child of God. Because when I just to give a little insight on mine, I see that I've done research and seen that black is something that is a concept that the so-called white man came up with, and really what the power is our melanin, and us being melanated beings, we are vessels that are connected, have the most high powered connection to the source, which is God. So back in the day, like when we did go through our fall, and we were at the helm of people that would be our naysayers, would be our detractors. Yeah, they want to disrupt their connection as much as possible, and as far as our being connected to our education, because yes, some were kings, yet some were astrologers, some were scientists, we had doctors, we had all these type of different formidable pillars in our communities, in our tribes, in our villages, in our nations that they contributed at a high level, more than just saying I got this nice watch, or I'm sitting on dubs, or I scored more points than you today in a game, or whatnot like that. So we have to stay connected to that, and this is part of why I do this podcast, man, because it's that time, dude. Like you said, it's one of the the easiest times to be successful, because the truth, the information is what's going to be the forerunner for all things from now till I don't know how long, till eternity. Because man, like we spoke about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Those were very radical ideas and ideologies that they were coming with. And then you go to Master Fard Muhammad and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, even Noble Drew Ali. They were coming with very radical ideas, and they weren't able to be televised as much as they should have been. Like you can look at Farrakhan right now. He's blackballed by a lot of these social media platforms because of the ideas that he pushes. And if when you do bring your whole mind and you actually observe and give a person an opportunity to hear them, you know what I'm saying, just hear people out and what they got to offer. You listen to them, there might be something, it's gonna be good and bad and ugly with a lot of people, man. Is what I've come to discover. So I'm really one of those practitioners of taking the message and not discarding getting distracted by the messenger.
Correct.
Because the Most High speaks through us all, and you got to listen to people. Once I start to listen more and really pay attention more, I really start to catch the direction and the feel of what my purpose is.
Correct.
So that's why
you said the right word. Listen, man. Nobody, regardless of where a person at in life, high or low, you don't know it all. We don't know it all. You got to be willing to listen. And even you can go to the corner store and may see a homeless person or whatever. You never know what type of wisdom they got for you that'll help you, man. If you're willing to listen and be disciplined, man, that's one of the other things, man, that the sky's the limit for. And I had to get out of that mindset, a period in my life to where I thought I knew it all. I would, man, you you work at McDonald's. How can you tell me something? You know, that don't mean anything, man. But as I learned on in life, a lot of lessons that I was taught from people, were people who were way much lower and way much higher than me. But guess what? I took it and I applied it, man, and it helps, and it has helped me along the way, most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. And even with you spoke on your podcast. It's not a podcast that's booming right now that didn't start from the bottom, man. Um, so use that, man, to get yourself as high as you want to be. Keep that hunger, man. Keep that drive alive because you're sincere about it. I can tell you're sincere about it, and you use that and turn that into energy, man. The sky's gonna be the limit, man. The sky's gonna be the limit, and you will have people who will come behind me from the years to come who will continue to spread positivity on your podcast and for the listeners as well, man. So it's you're definitely being a tool and helping other people, man, that's going to get on this platform and click on these videos and the videos to come, and that's going to help them on in life. And they're going to send more traffic to you. So big ups to you for that, man. The sky's the limit for you, man, and I'm rooting for you.
It's it's saying likewise with you. I appreciate that, man. We got a few more minutes out of here in here, so I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna need you to give a brief description, just sell your book real quick, and why it's important to you, and the title, and then if you got one with you right now, go ahead and show it up, and we'll close out after that.
All right. Well, the Yazookeeper. That name is originated from the term brothers keepers and being a sister keeper. And what I am to my hometown of Yazoo City, Yazoo is the name of the city. And if you take the YA off, you're left with the word zoo. And if you go to any zoo in the world, they would have zookeepers. And a job of a zookeeper is to nourish and look after and watch over and take care of the animals that's in the zoo. So by my hometown being called Yazoo, I feel like, and not only feel like, I know I am the brother's keeper to my hometown, which is Yazoo. So that's why I've labeled myself and called myself the Yazookeeper, by being the pillar in the community for the less fortunate, the poverty-stricken areas and people in our town. That's how I came up with the term the Yazookeeper for my book. Now, what my book teaches people and allow people to know and see and hear is to where, as a young child, there were things that occurred in my life that wasn't so good, that wasn't so bad, from situations with family members, to relationships that, once upon a time that led me to suicide, to friendships with different people that I loved so much, but, I had to sacrifice and leave it alone, from, illegal things that I was doing and caught up with that I had to leave alone to get me to where I'm at now. My book outlines a not so pretty and ugly path that leads up to a person that listened to God, asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, found my purpose, and allowed me to this day to be the alderman of Yazoo City, along with the mayor pro tem of Yazoo City. And that's what my book is about. It's super motivational, it's super inspiring, and for any reader that reads it, I can almost 100% guarantee that they're going to take something away from my book, whether it's something that happened in my past, whether it's something that's recently happened, they're going to take something away from it, and it's going to build on their life and allow them to be a little bit more successful than what they are now, man.
Yeah,
Most definitely, man.
Most definitely. Yes, Lord. And do you have one with you right now?
Yeah, I can grab it real quick. Give me 1 second. It's right here.
Okay, yeah, I just want to give people a look at what they'll be witnessing, what they'll be embarking into once they get a chance to go ahead and click that link in the description.
All right, here it is, man. The Yazookeeper, the story of the life of a chosen man. And I feel like, and I know that I was chosen to be the man that I am now, man. And I thank God for it. It definitely has been life-changing for me. I worked on this book since 2009. I started writing this book, and didn't even knew it was going to turn into a book. I just started writing, and as things transpired, it allowed me to tell my story and let my story be heard about my life, to where I'll be able to help somebody along the way, man. So this is it. You can get it at Amazon, or you can contact me on Facebook at Macklyn Austin, or Instagram at Macklyn_Austin. Get you a autographed copy of it, man, and I can mail it out to you.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna close out with this, man. For someone that's been having courtside seats to the show that you've been putting on, man, from an early age. I've been looking up to you, man, and this another me would be having eye full of tears right now, man. I feel my eyes watering now, man, because it's truly inspiring. It's a beautiful thing to see just what life is taking you, man. And I'm grateful to even had this opportunity to interview you, man. This shouldn't come cheap, man. This is some access that only family gets right here, because the man is giving out a high value conversation and just an example of what it is to be in alignment with what is meant for you, and to be strong enough to do away and steer away from what is not. And so with that being said, man, I'm gonna don you a fear chaser, man. I'm grateful for this interview. I'm thankful to have you as my cousin. I'm thankful that you have taken the chance, the task, and the leap to write your life story down, man. So congratulations to you, man. Y'all link, man. For real, man.
Appreciate it, man. Much love, man. Much love, man. I thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. This is actually my first time doing a podcast interview for the book, man. So, hey, you being number one, man, that means a lot. And it's definitely going to go down in history. So, hey, we just made it, man. We just made it.